I'm Malik Cool Breeze Cool Beery.
I'm Saquon Gillette. This guy don't know what the heck he's talking about.
And I'm Brian Isley, a.k.a. Trash Bars, Super Bars.
And this is the Broprint Podcast, where everything is hip-hop and hip-hop is everything. Let's get it, fellas.
I promise you're going to be impressed because you'll be like, hold on, he ain't bringing what the regular little young niggas bring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, we got Super Bars?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got some nice bars, man. Yeah, he
Right.
nice. He nice. And we really got in and produced them. Me, 1,500 or nothing. My boy Warren Campbell, Go Grizz. Man, it's a lot of producers. You know, we all collab. We was just out in LA fucking around and just in like 2 months, man, we put that whole project, really 3 months. Yeah, man, that shit came together. It's a true masterpiece, bro. Real produced, like true production.
Yeah.
I was on there too.
We got to keep, we definitely got to keep this in for the episode, but I want us to do an actual,
Yeah, go ahead.
proper introduction.
Yeah.
Because, brother, we would be remiss to not give you the flowers that you deserve real quick. So while we starting this episode off, Brian, please.
Well, this is a very, very special episode. We got one of the most sought after producers in the game, one of the most well respected producers, one of the most accomplished producers in the game. Worked with Mariah Carey, worked with Drake, worked with Kanye West, T.I., so many dope artists, man. The legendary DJ Toomp is in the building for the Broprint Podcast. Toomp, what's going on, sir?
Yeah.
What's up, man? Another beautiful day, man. Glad to be here. Beautiful Saturday. Shit, man. God woke me up this morning, man. So it's a great one, you know?
That's all you got asked for. I just want to be in the fight. I don't even got to be winning. I just want to be in the fight. A lot of people not.
Right.
Yeah. Real shit now.
Yeah. That's very profound, Malik.
It's one day all of us will be out of the fight. So I don't care if I can lose a couple rounds as long as I'm in the fight. Real talk.
Word. Toomp, what's going on with you, man? What's the latest?
Shoot, man. I had I got a little hiccup. 2 joints on the last T.I. album, To Kill the King. I did one called How It Went. And you know what I'm saying, with featuring Dro on the hook. That album is still moving some beautiful numbers. And the latest release is Skilla Baby. Price of Fame. I got 4 joints on there with a collab of a whole lot of other producers, man. You know. And actually working on my own joint, man. I might either do something with either Mass Appeal or maybe Empire.
Yeah.
To where it's gonna be like DJ Toomp featuring Boom, you know what I mean, every quarter. I really got enough music to do that shit every quarter, maybe 2 artists per quarter.
Wow.
You know?
It seems like Mass Appeal is the go-to label these days.
Yeah, they doing their thing over there, man. Nas and the rest of the crew, you know? I got a good relationship with him, definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what's the working relationship with Nas and Mass Appeal, and how does that come about? How do you put that deal together?
Him, my guy Sean C. Got a relationship with him. Sean C. he play a major part over there too, as far as like A&R and putting everything together. And just for me being on the Nas previous albums, Slave and the Master, I produced that for him. That was the Nigga album. Remember that one?
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah, yep.
And I was on the Lost Tapes album, so we always had a good relationship, man. Nas and I,
That's to
always
further.
been,
go ahead. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead, please.
Always been hella cool,
Fire. Now, to further pause that kind of piggyback off of your relationship with Nas and you wanting to do something with Mass Appeal, I know from watching and just reading up and us following your career, you are a hip hop like cultural person. Everything from you joking around about pop locking to graffiti to the music to DJ and scratching and everything like that before you went full blown production. So
everything under the umbrella, man.
Yeah,
yes.
With hip hop being so much ingrained in you, and like true hip hop, not rap business, hip hop.
Yeah.
Can you help us understand? Because at times you see that there can be a slight disconnect between like East or if you would just want to call it New York, and then Southern hip hop.
Yeah.
How does that does that slight disconnect happen, and then how do we get past that? Because we're family, we're all connected. Everybody in New York is from the South essentially.
Right. And lately on interviews, I had a few to where I've calmed down a lot, because at one point, man, they used to shit on us down here. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But that's only in the hip hop era. But when it came to the R&B, we've been known, for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
James Brown, Otis Redding, and it goes on and on. When you think of the South, Georgia alone, Gladys Knight and the Pip, Gene Carn, Cameo. We can go on and on. A long list of people who just came out of Atlanta, but that was in the soul and R&B era.
Mm-hmm.
But in the hip hop era, on our way up, it kind of made it feel like, y'all slow. Damn, we wasn't slow when the R&B shit was popping. Y'all sampling our music.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, we want to, we done learn how to break dance. We done learn how to rap and DJ and pop lock. We ain't slow like shit. We got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was wild because I used to, I started DJing when I was like 14, 15 years old. Really, more like 13. And we speaking of 1982, just turned 57. So I used to DJ college events, like college parties, when I was in high school, like 9th grade. But the older DJs would like to come let me do a set because I used to be doing tricks and shit on the turntable. So, they used to mix or whatnot, but whenever they want, just to entertain the crowd, they would let me get up, cut some, just do some back and forth shit. And people used to, at the AU Center, so speaking of, Clark, Morehouse, Morris Brown, and Spelman. So when you having parties over there at the AU Center down here in, Atlanta University, all the colleges are down here, you got people from all over the country. And some of the first things they say when they see me on the turn, oh, he can't be from down here. You got to be from up top. Oh, stop that shit, man. From Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
That shit out, dude. Like, we got it down here too. Welcome to the city, dude. You know what I mean? But I never really took it offensive. But then later on, I thought it faded away. But then when that boy Andre had to get up and really, make that shit say what he said on the Source Award, let me know, wow, this shit is still in the air. You know what I mean? Like one day they're going to finally fucking respect us. But one thing I would say that and I won't just say New York, just even the West Coast and everywhere else that was really popping, they really gave the South a lot of respect once they saw how we were moving as independent labels.
Right,
yes.
Right.
Like, with no major distribution. We was motherfuckers selling gold and platinum, from Luke to DJ Magic Mike. You had Lil J doing his thing, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of records that came out of Florida. That was one thing about the state of Florida, man. They were like way ahead of their time because it was all kind of pressing plants down there. You got to think the state of Florida is like a melting pot of so many different nationalities.
Yeah.
You had the Jamaicans, the Bahamians, the Cubans, and Colombians, everybody. So, and you got a lot of drug money coming through there, and that's why it was a lot of independent record companies and independent pressing plants and everything down there. So that was really the spot. So because I started off in Atlanta, but my shit didn't really pop off until I went to Miami, and I really got a taste of the true industry. It's when I graduated from high school and went out there and started working with Luke Skywalker. That was in 1987.
So how'd that come about? How'd you end up meeting Luke?
Well, I just heard about my man. What's your name right there?
Saquon.
Saquon? Okay, my man earlier who was speaking on being from the Bronx.
Oh, Malik.
Malik.
Oh, Malik. What's up, brother?
All right.
Yeah. All right. So when you said that, it sparked something because MC Shadi is from the Bronx River Projects.
Okay.
So MC Shadi moved down here when he was like around high school, which he's Africa Bambaata's cousin. So when he came down here, he was DJing at first, and then he started rapping. First he was just DJ Shadi, and then he was MC Shadi. And so he came out with a song on Foresight Records, which was out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So, and they were popping. He had a song called Rap Will Never Die. And see, back then, people in Atlanta, we had a few records, you know, independent records, but we were still trying to figure out how to even get out of Georgia. But Florida had more of a reach with the distribution companies. You know what I mean? Back then, you had a distribution company in each corner of the country. Big State, Schwartz Brothers, I can't think of the name of the other ones. But you was just, if you had a warehouse, you could just ship your records. UPS would just come and you could ship some to Cali, you could ship some to New York, Philly, or wherever, Texas. And it was just different distribution companies. So Sade was the first rapper out of Atlanta who had got some notoriety outside of Georgia. He was, even in '86, he was doing shows like in California and everything. We were just happy to goddamn drive an hour to do a show at a National Armory type shit. You know what I mean? We come home the same night. But Sade was actually taking flights, you know? And that was like some alien shit to us, man. You know, we would come home the same night when we do shows, you know? And later on, I guess he had got off of Foresight Records and ended up signing with Luke, which was in Miami. And he came out with his first album, Gotta Be Tough. And after the Gotta Be Tough album, he had that Gotta Be Tough was the actual single and the title song. So he was touring all around the country with that, doing shows and whatnot. And so what happened, I started on it was a college DJ, a college step show I was DJing. And I guess the word had got out because I won a few DJ battles back then too. And Sade was actually looking for a DJ. You know, he had a current DJ, this guy, DJ Man, but I guess he just was looking for somebody else who could really give more of a routine on stage. Yeah. And he heard about that I was DJing at the step show. And shit, man, by the time I finished doing my little It's Time routine, I see him at the front of the stage like, hey, man, let's talk. And we met up and he was like, hey, man, I want to take you on tour with me. But I was still, at that time, I was a senior in high school. But he thought since I was DJing the college step show, I was out of school. So he came to my parents' house, man, showing me this long-ass schedule. Keep in mind, I never really left out of Georgia in my life. I was, you know, I grew up with a cool family, but they just didn't like to travel as much, you know? And shit, man, we had shows from Virginia to Cali to Texas, all these different parts of the country that I'd never been to. Like I say, never even been on a plane or none of that shit. So, and I was trying to get my mom, you know, I was telling Sade, I'm like, man, if we get a tutor, that'd be cool. He was like, nah, I ain't making that kind of money to afford it. He's like, you know, I'm barely getting $10,000 a night right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it was what, about 4 more months, you know, for me to graduate. Once I graduated high school, man, you know, it was time for graduation. You know, we preparing, you know, to march and meet at the Civic Center and put our cap and gowns on. You got folks talking about, you know, what college they going to. You got cats going to the, you know, Navy. You got a few cats who took up trades. I'm like, man, I'm about to go to Miami and get with Luke Skywalker. Everybody thought I was bullshitting until they saw me on the album cover.
Yo.
Yeah, I got on that. And back then, you know how everybody used to want to put their whole crew on the album cover. You know what I mean? Back, you know, we had the shout outs on the back and all that shit. So, and that's when everybody, from Organized Noise to everybody up here who was just grinding, when they saw me on the album cover, they were like, damn, dog, Toomp, the first one out of Southwest Atlanta to really make it, you know? So I'm really, when people see me, it's that whole story of, man, he the first one to really get this shit popping for real.
Fresh out of high school.
Fresh out of high school, bro, you know?
Now doing that tour, you had mentioned that sometimes, like, you know, that Sade was hitting Cali and such like that. Then that means around that time, I mean, you gotta have an NWA story.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But man, honestly, man, it was cool, man, because that's when everybody was together. Cube, Easy, the whole fucking crew, man. And we had this, it was a tour called I think the Dope Tour. It was us, Public Enemy, Eric B. and Rakim, Biz Markie. Who else? Like I said, NWA. And just on a few of those shows, man, like, you know, everybody had their little groupies and whatnot, but bro, NWA, bro, it was just bras lined up outside the door, bro. And they weren't checking for nobody else but them. You hear me? Easy E was the ring leader.
I bet.
Jeezy was that guy. He'd come to the door of the road, be like, next.
Next.
No
Yo.
one walk in. Yeah. Easy. He was
Next
serious.
is crazy.
Next is
I
crazy.
I don't know if that boy had some goddamn honey packs or whatever back then. But that shit went on to like 3 a.m. I tell you that. You know, we had our little share, but yeah, the baddest ones want to see NWA. And Public Enemy, them, they went with that shit, you know. Flav was on his mission, though.
Flav was Flav was having a good time.
And Chuck and them, Chuck and the rest of the
Professor, they would.
Yeah, Chuck, Mike, Brother Mike, and the SW1 them. And James and them, they went back to their room. But Flav, oh yeah, he was goddamn.
Flav was with the shits.
Flav was on all
and
bullshit.
that's why when I saw that Flavor of Love, I'm like, that's the flavor I know.
There you go.
Yeah. So man, just being a little 18-year-old, 19 out there with all them grown men, and just man, I grew up fast, bro. It was a hell of an experience, man. Yeah, I can write a book on this shit for real.
How did you maintain? Like you said, you were still a teenager.
Man, well, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I grew up fast on that side of it, but then at the same time too, great parenting, bro. My mom and my dad did an excellent job.
Okay.
Incredible job. You know what I mean? They stuck together. Got 2 half brothers, but boy, they stuck together. You know what I mean? And my pop, you know, him and his brothers, my uncles, they taught me so much, man, to where I learned a lot of shit at an early age. Even when I never knew when I was gonna have to turn my hustle switch on, but I already knew how to move around in the streets before I had to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watching, you know, listening to grown men, you know, being around the corner, listening to their conversation and shit. You know, when the coast clear, opening drawers, you know, I hear where he put certain shit, be like, man, I wonder what he just put in that closet. I finally got down, seen a whole brick one day. I was like, well, I don't know what this shit is, but I know not to touch
it. Look, I was going to ask you, I don't want to jump eras too much, but of course, you being at the vanguard and forefront of the trap music sounds and everything like that, you having had such a solid upbringing, but you've seen a lot. Did it ever get a little too real for you? Like, did you ever have a situation you like, whoa, wait, I ain't signed up for this, dog. I'm here making music.
Yeah, it was a home invasion one time. Some cats, like I said, I started moving around with my pop a little bit, getting a little extra money. That was around like early 90s. Because when I left, see, me being in Miami, I got my feet wet or whatnot, but I was still that young dude who didn't know anything about publishing or royalties. All I was just getting was my production fee. I was glad to be on the album cover. I was glad to see my name on the credits. You know what I mean? But I didn't know anything about publishing the royalties, and they took advantage of that. That's why in the early 90s, when I got back to Atlanta, I was trying to get my feet wet. I tried to get, you know, my mission was to come back up here and get with LaFace. As I kept hearing about Organize and all these different people. I was like, you know, where Jermaine was already moving, but I was like, damn, over there with LaFace too. Let me get my ass back to Atlanta. But it wasn't that easy. I couldn't just, me getting with LaFace wasn't that easy. So, like I say, I just hooked up with some of my Miami people who decided to come up here. We started a record label. Shit, we had some just other shit going at the same time. You know what I mean? And around that time, you know, it was crazy because I don't want to get too deep into it. But
no, this is what we here for.
When my pop was looking for a connect, I ended up being his fucking connect.
Oh.
And so different people start catching on to what was happening. And yeah, man, they pulled up at the crib. That shit made the news and everything, man. It was a home invasion, man. Dudes thought they were gonna catch something at the crib. Yeah, it was a lot went down. I was just like, all right, man, this shit has gotten too fucking real. Let me focus back on my music, man. This shit hit too close to home because it's like they waited till I left.
Yeah.
You know, they knew my pop. They were like, oh, you know what? We catch his old ass. You know what I mean? Yeah, my pop, Alfonso, he passed at the age 82, man. That's my OG, bro.
Sorry to hear the passing, but that's a good long life, though.
Yeah, but like I said, my mom, she passed in 98. So like I said, they did a great job raising me, man. So I'm well balanced, bro, from my dad to my uncle to my mom, and just just the community around me. You know what I mean? And yeah, even when I was younger, I used to just hang with the cats that was like 4 or 5 years older than me anyway. You know what I mean? Even when we used to be out there joning and shit. That's why I'm talking like I used to be on like some elite shit, like the promo song from being a comedian type shit for real. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about.
But like you say on the trap music shit, man, it I could tell that it started really. You speaking of the trap music movement and when it started getting too real.
Yeah, well, yes. I just meant like you being like one of the faces, really, like I said, the vanguard of the trap movement. Was there ever a point where the trap movement went from being too much music to too much real life? Like what you just explained, having that home invasion.
Because some of the stuff that T.I. was rapping about was what he was learning from me.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
I taught him how to buy diamonds and everything. You know, I was like, yo, man, you want to get a good deal on diamonds, walk in with a loop. That way you know that you know what the fuck you're looking for. You know what I mean? When cats just walk in buying jewelry with no loop, like, oh, they get ready to tear you up. But if you go in there with a loop, this for everybody out there, you know. Let these folks know that you know what you're looking for, the goddamn inclusions and all that. You know, you get a better deal. And I tell T.I. all that. And, you know, he used to hear my conversation, and me and his cousin Toot, T-O-O-T. That's who he rap about on some of his records. He'd be like, rest in peace to his cousin Toot. Me and Toot used to get down. We was getting our bread together too.
Okay.
So he grew up in the neighborhood. Nobody really in our neighborhood knew what we were up to. We were silent getting money. You know,
that's how you do it.
Buying jewelry and diamonds and shit. But yeah, a lot of the shit that Tip was rapping about was, you know, he had his hands in it at an early stage too. But he was kind of, you know, he rapping about some of how we were moving around, you know, Piaget watches and all that big time flooded out shit. Because I had a lot of homies from Miami used to come up here too. Tip had a chance to meet some of them. We talking about guys rocking 15 karat diamond rings, one diamond, one fucking stone. Shout out to my boy Versace Neil.
Man, sound like a J-Lo ring.
Yeah, free Versace Neil, man. That's my guy. Love him to death. Yes.
Word.
I heard Rick Ross mention him a few times too. Versace Neil.
What's it like working with Rick? What's it like working with Rick?
With Rick Ross?
Yeah.
It's cool, man. He's a funny motherfucker too.
I can see that.
He's just as silly as we are. I'm telling you.
I can see it.
Silly as hell. It's and it's wild because it's hit or miss. Sometimes you won't think that he's fucking with you because you may not hear from him for a while. But when he do reach out, it's like, oh man, everything cool. You know, niggas just got shit to do. You know what I mean? And working with him is pretty cool because his beat selection, he don't play.
Top tier.
Top for real. He has one of the best ears for beats.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a tremendously underrated talent. He's his own A&R.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. And I got about 5 of my records in his hard drive that the people have never heard. That's hard as fuck. He could release them right now and it'll go crazy.
We need that.
Right.
Yeah. We'll be going back in soon too, even though he just released the album. You wouldn't believe how these artists, man, they could just release an album a month ago and still be ready to get right back in.
Yeah, because they got so many in the vault. Yep. They put so many songs in the vault.
Yes. Yeah. You know? And and like I say, man, it's just certain certain artists who just still have a passion for this shit, you know. Even T.I., you say it's his last album, but I think I can squeeze another one out of him.
That's what I'm talking.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, because you were in Miami, you came back to Atlanta, but you started out as a DJ. Do you remember like the first beats that you made and what were you using? What machine were you using?
Well, I made you know what? I kind of skipped some shit because I produced my first record in '85. It was a guy from here named Raheem the Dream, which he eventually got some national success. But 1985, I was in the 10th grade. He was a senior. The song was titled Raheem the Dream. And the original song was this guy named Kenneth, man. He was doing a beatbox. And the hook was like, Raheem the Dream. And then Raheem would do his verses and whatnot. But it got to the point where he wanted to go to a studio and do it for real. So I was DJing a few parties and stuff. DM Thero High School was the high school we went to. So Rob was like, hey man, I want to go to the studio. I got my man Jarvis, this other guy named Art, man. They ready to invest some money in us. We're gonna go to the studio and record. And I've been in studios, but never been in there. I've been in there as a spectator. This was my first time actually going in there with my song type shit. And I played around with little drum machines when I was DJing. Cause part of our DJ battles, used to have like this little Dr. Rhythm drum machine, this little silver joint. And I used to let the beat play and I'd scratch along with the beats and whatnot. But when it comes to came to down the studio and really making a record, yeah, man. I had what he had in there? DMX drum, the DMX, Oberheim DMX drum machine, and another machine by MU called the Drumulator. This was right before the SP12 and the SP1200 came out. Look, if anybody search it, it's like a small version of the SP1200. It's called the Drumulator. And I didn't know how to MIDI back then, but I knew to put them on the same BPM. So if you hear that song, Raheem the Dream, it's like you'll hear me tap it, and I had both drums going at the same time. So I just made a beat right then. Once the engineer showed me how, like, what stop, play, and record was, I made a beat right there on the spot. So that was my first record, and it was crazy, man. That shit was in regular rotation down here. Like, you would hear it 5 times a day on the radio. So I'm in the 10th grade with a song in regular rotation, dude. And the price of my DJing went up, my mixtapes went up.
So what beat did you make where you first stopped and said, okay, I've arrived, I'm here, and I deserve to be here? And then what was the beat that made you say, not only now am I with these guys, now I'm one of them ones?
That was I had some nice beats going when I was with Shadi. Shake It, which was a biggest record. Me and this dude Mike Fresh produced that together. And I had a few records floating around Miami, that I produced by myself. But the first record that really, I would say people knew me for T.I. Dope Boys in the Trap. I did Lil Jon, Shawty Freak a little something. But the song that really opened the doors just to really cut through the shit was that What You Know. No, You Don't Know Me.
Yeah.
You Don't Know Me. And y'all know how this game is, man. See if he can do it again.
Yeah.
And shit, I did it again. I brought some more records, after that, because like I say, the Dope Boys in the Trap, that was from the first album. But then that You Don't Know Me. But then after that, You Don't Know Me, which was Motivation.
Man.
That was on the album. So it was a few on that album, on the Urban Legend. Then when that King album came around,
Now, What You Don't.
Listen, that was my ringtone for 6 months straight.
So really, that What You Know About That got me a whole lot of work, bro. That's when the phone really started ringing. Like, that motherfucker started ringing.
we need that. What's that?
Hey,
we need that.
You'll be sitting in A&R Mill here because we used to have like certain little producer conferences to where like be on the EMI publishing because I was signed to EMI as far as admin, and we would have this whole producers thing on the weekend with the writers or everybody who was signed under EMI publishing as writers. And you would hear the A&Rs come in like, yeah, they didn't even know I was in the room. Yeah, man, we were just trying to get something, some of that DJ Toomp type shit. And my man Big John was like, hey, man, no disrespect, but, you got Toomp right here. Like
the source right here. You ain't got to look around no further.
This nigga still living, and he's right here.
Right
so
here.
He's still living.
You come holler at him direct. Stop telling the whole room that you trying to get his sound. And more and more people start using, some of my instruments. You start hearing the little anthem type of shit, the way, the way it was, some of the progressions and whatnot.
That cymbal.
Yeah, but like I say, the cymbal for sure.
That cymbal, that man,
yeah,
listen.
That cymbal.
That's right.
Yeah. So like I say, that You Don't Know Me and What You Know About That, and just like I say, some of the other songs on T.I. album, that shit cracked some doors open, man. But that What You Know About That is really, really that one.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
And your top tier hits. I mean, we know that's you, but it's such a different. They don't sound the same at all. It's like
Yeah.
just so different. Can you explain your thought process in making each beat like Can't Tell Me Nothing or Big Brother or what you know? Like what was the
All
thought
right,
process going into each song?
man. That's a great question.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
I would say, well, my dad, brother Al Davis, Alfonso, he was signed to Buddha Records. Y'all remember Buddha? Y'all ever seen the label back with the Gladys Knight and the Pimp, Curtis Mayfield used to be on a record
Word,
label?
word,
Yes,
word.
yes.
Yeah, he was signed to Buddha. My dad was the lead singer in this group called the MVPs. So I learned how to sing back in like 77, 75, 77. My dad taught me I knew about how to arrange, harmonize, and all that shit. And he had a crazy record collection. So around, even before I started DJing, you know, I'd go down there and just play records and whatnot. But sometimes I'd pick the needle up and it would go across the record. You know, we coming through these big speakers, you hear it go,
Mm.
he's like, hey man, if I hear that again, I'm gonna make you cut all that shit off.
Mhm.
So he was like, man, either use the lift or if you're gonna do it with your hand, just make sure you pick it directly up. And so we talking about a little 10-year-old kid, man. I just got good at just picking the needle up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, because that shit played a part in my DJing,
Mhm.
my DJ routine. Like, you know, everybody do the needle drop trick.
Yeah.
Right.
So I learned the needle drop trick back in the 70s. You know, but still wasn't DJ. I'd be like, oh shit, if I move the needle back just a little bit, it's kind of start over type shit. So I got good at dropping the needle. So once he felt comfortable letting me, you know, run the whole stereo system, man, sometimes I go outside and play, you know, play football, baseball. I played all sports. Ain't shit in basketball. I was only good for rebounds. Rebounds only. And passes.
That's effort.
Yeah. So when I was in the house, man, I was either reading World Book encyclopedias or I'm just digging through the crates, man. So we talking about Tower Power, man, shit, New Birth, Rare Earth, rock groups to Quincy Jones to everything, man. So it was just a whole crate. So I just sitting there listening to records all day, looking at the album covers, reading the credits, trying to figure out what mixed by mean and seeing who's singing in the background, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So for me, growing up listening to all these varieties, music, I became a true lover of this shit, bro. And so when I, you know, later on, I'd like save a little money, you know, because I cut the grass, man, and shit, Pop might give me 30 just for cutting the yard, you know, and I go buy albums. So man, I started buying albums. I got Prince album, and shit, man, I fell in love with Prince because I found out when I saw him on American Bandstand, I was able to see to hear his story and find out that he was producing and writing basically like a one-man band.
Mm-hmm.
So get my computer going low. I'm finna plug this shit up.
Oh, okay.
And so I became a fan of Prince, man, and that's how the Big Brother song came about. You know, a song called "It's Gonna Be Lonely." That was one of my favorite songs by Prince.
Okay.
Yeah, just the influence of everybody, man. Heat Wave. Oh my God, man. And so when it comes to the progressions, Barry White, you know, as I talk, I'm gonna just keep naming artists because all of them they play their part. So that's why you can hear that variety because I'm really like a walking jukebox, bro. Like if you bring a certain song up, I'm gonna hum it in the right key. I tell you exactly what the music is doing. It's like I know every bit and part of piece of it without even having to dig through the crates. I can play that shit, you know. I'm not even the best player, but I just know just knowing music, man, that shit just locked in my head. So that's why when I produce, I can do some old trapped out down south shit. But then when it comes to some lyricists or whatnot, when they want some real music, yeah, I can really play some shit. Oh, I might sample and chop up a few samples, but it's a few songs where I chop the samples up and just pull them out, you know? That's what you know about that was.
So now you had mentioned being younger and you know your father teaching you to sing and him having experience with music and just like your background loving music so much. Now, does classical, because there's some, you speak to some producers and they're kind of like, I don't want to go be classically trained. I want to keep my feel. does classical training mess with the magic, or to you is feel better than actual technique?
I ain't gonna lie, man. Sometimes I wish sometimes at 57, I still be wanting to kind of take some little lessons, man, just to learn.
Like music theory stuff?
Just to tweak my shit up a little bit. Cause I just play, I just play by ear. But if I was to take some lessons, I wouldn't try to be a full-fledged musician, but I would love to have that, to just get, train a little bit in that, just to be able to just take my shit to the next level without AI. Because I love doing this shit. I love challenging myself, man. That's part of my makeup, man, just as a man, period. You know what I mean? I love challenging myself discipline-wise, like I just got married last week.
Oh, congratulations.
And yeah, appreciate it, man. But shit, in 2017, I just decided to take myself off the block, man. I had, too much rotation going on, man. I was like, man, this shit bad for the soul, dude. And I've been reading up on it, and I was like, man, these women ain't hitting no shit. I take myself, but that discipline, man. And all that, man. I don't drink no more.
Okay.
So I think as we get older, man, and I could I shoot this game to y'all, man. Every year, man, every birthday, or just whenever the calendar flip, man, just look at yourself and just say, hey, man, what can I take away from me that ain't beneficial?
Mm-hmm.
Really, and challenge myself and see how disciplined I am just to let this shit go, even if it's certain friends.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yo.
How long? Oh, yeah, our moms know each other. It might be relatives. Okay, I'll see you at the next funeral, but
Word up.
Good Lord.
At the next funeral
Word
is.
Up.
Yeah.
I get it though. So,
one of the.
Man, I still love you, but I can't fuck with.
Yeah, word. That's real.
And so it's a lot of things, so I always love challenging myself. That's why when the whole AI thing come about, I'm like, yeah, I'm not that lazy, man. I still love putting in the work, dude.
So
I can dig that.
When Kanye came out with College Dropout, they had All Falls Down, and he kind of had an issue with Lauryn Hill, and the original version didn't get cleared. Mm-hmm. And then on Graduation, which is kind of like my second favorite Kanye album, y'all did Big Brother, and you had the issue, so the original version didn't come out. How did you guys pivot once you found out that Prince wasn't going to approve the sample?
Well, at first it's funny because Prince, old brother Roger Nelson, man, may he rest in peace. I respect him so much, man, because, and I even heard him say it in the interviews, like, hey, man, if you do anything, play your own music. I want y'all sampling my shit. Play your own music. But then later on, I guess his estate started being a little bit more loose with it. But the first version of that, yeah, it was It's Gonna Be Lonely. And it's the end part of the song. One thing, I don't know if y'all noticed, some of the songs, when I do sample, it usually be the end of the record, because that's my favorite part. And the part with it, dun, 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 dun. So I replayed that shit on this software called Reason. I'm talking about everything from the guitar to the bass line, but of course I put my own drums in there. And it was like the replica version of that shit, but it was a software version. Where Kanye vocals fit on that shit so beautiful. So we started the album down here in Atlanta, but we ended up finishing up in New York at Chungking. So when it was, we did all the mixing and stuff up there in New York. So the last 2 days of mixing, Prince reached out and was like, hey, man, I'm gonna approve this record, but I need to own 100% of it. And I was like, oh.
That's a lot.
Yeah. First, I was like, why? Then I was like, you know what? Nah, I ain't finna question him. That's his shit. You know what I mean? I can't ask him why. And so Kanye was cool with it. Me as a producer / writer, I'm like, nah, you gonna do one show on you. Once you touch the stage, you seeing all your money. Me, nah. So what? I didn't bring that particular computer to New York. So Def Jam sent me back home. It's like, hey man, I said, first of all, I was like, hey man, nah, we ain't going out like that. I said, I'd rather go back to Atlanta and make a new version. So Def Jam flew me back home, and it took me like an hour and a half, man. So I caught the plane. Limo was waiting for me at the airport. Limo took me straight to my studio. I opened that laptop up, went in my studio. I'm looking at my video camera. Limo is down there waiting on me. Like, however long it's going to take for you to make this remix. So I sat down there, played with a few melodies, and moved a few notes around. Same tempo, same instrument, same template. And I went through like 3 different ones, but the one I finally decided on was the one that the whole world is hearing now. Man, I just brought that computer, jumped in the limo. Shit, man, I had another flight. And it was like the time was so perfect, man. I had a flight waiting for me to go right back to New York. And when I got up there, man, I came in about an hour after everybody. So I walked in with my laptop, and Kanye was like, man, I hope that shit jamming. I said, it is, dog. This shit hard, man. And everybody was there. I'm talking about everybody. And shit, Jigga, Jay Brown, everybody was there. Cause see, Jigga was there because he wanted to find out what the hell was going on. He heard that. He heard his name was mentioned in the record. He didn't know if it was good or bad. You know what I mean? So while all this is happening, I'm sitting there in front of the engineer. We got our headphones on because I told him, hey man, don't even turn this volume up until we line everything up with this original version. I said, keep your same mix. I said, I didn't change nothing but melodies. I said, I didn't change no EQs. All I did was move the notes around. Boy, once I listened to it in the headphones, I looked at everybody. I was like, y'all ready for this shit? I turned that shit up, bro. Man, the room just went crazy, man. All the execs from Def Jam were like, that's it, dude. And Ye just came and gave me a big hug, like, man, what the fuck, man?
That's fire. That's funny that Jay-Z and Jay Brown was there. Because then I went and told Jay Brown. Should have known that was coming back around. That's hilarious.
That shit was funny, man. Yeah. So that was a hell of a moment, man. That was a hell of a moment. And it's wild because Kanye had this dude video documenting the whole project, man.
Choke.
I'm wondering what he's gonna do with that shit.
Was
bro.
it Choke? It was Choke, no joke?
No, it wasn't. No, it
Oh,
was a
okay.
white boy.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Choke, my man. That's my guy. No, it wasn't Choke.
So was that when you made those changes? Did that then go into the realm of interpolation, or was that considered an original piece?
Oh no. Oh, that's why I'm about to say, and why Prince is so cool. He did, even though he knew that it was made from the energy of his song, he respected the fact that I put my own melody to it. So he was like, hey man, y'all good.
Nice.
Wow.
So he respected the interpolation rather than the sample. Play your own music.
Yeah, play your own music. And he was like, man, you can have that.
Nice.
And that's why I was like, yo, Prince respect musicianship like a motherfucker. He respect motherfuckers who put in that work. And I was like, yo, man, boy, you got to love him, man. And I always was a fan of him already, man. I ended up doing business with the guy, you know?
Fire.
And I'm sure he definitely respected the fact that you were like 100%, yo, I love you, Prince, but I can't do that. So I got to go make this happen. I'm sure the byproduct of that coming back with something so dope.
Yes.
Based off of what he made, but it was your own thing. I know he respected that. That's,
he respected it, bro. Yeah, so I get 50, Kanye get 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
We solely own that. Yeah.
Much better percentage.
Much better. That's way better than 0.
So you did talk about like all of the people who influence you that you have so much respect for, but now you're one of the elder statesmen that so many others have that type of respect for. And I wanted to ask, who are some of the people that you are happy and proud to see reaching for that baton from people of your ilk as far as production goes?
Am I like after me?
Yeah, or after you. Yeah, people that are running alongside of you now.
Man.
Because you're not done yet, brother. And we know.
Yeah. Shit, we got Drummer Boy, Mike Will, the Metro Boomin, 808 Mafia, Hit Boy.
Wow.
Shit, man, well, that list is long, bro. Shit, Mike and Keys. Shit. Who else? Shit, Street Runner. My gosh, Go Grizzly. Man, I can go on and on, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of them, man. And I love all of them.
That's fire.
So, you know how we became cool through, trash bars and super.
Right.
Toomp, what was your first reaction when you saw my blank stare on IG? What was your initial reaction?
Hey, man, when I saw it, I was like, yo, it's about time that somebody really exposed how some shit just don't age well.
Right.
You know?
Mm.
Yeah, it passed back in the early 90s. You know, we like the beat.
Mm-hmm.
It was a movement. It was a whole crew of y'all in the video. You know? But you listen to that shit now, it's like, huh? What? Not to mention the pause bars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you got the trash bars and the pause bars, all of them, in the same fucking umbrella, I was like, yo, first of all, man, thanks for even having the balls to do that shit and be like, man, fuck what y'all say. Cause I saw, we had, what's my man named Rottweiler trying to come at you on some shit. And I was like, man, get out your feelings, dude. Like, that shit is trash. In 2026, it is, dude. Like, yeah, it passed. Man, no, he's not dissing his legendary status. He's not dissing, no, this particular song, that was some bullshit. And see, me, one thing about it, like you say, under the whole thing of hip hop, I used to rap too. And I still got bars. Every once in a while, I see some shit on the news and be like, oh my God. And I'd be like, I'm surprised somebody ain't said that by now.
Mm-hmm.
When I fuck around and watch a URL battle, I'd be like,
got it.
He got it. He caught that. You know what I mean? Them double entendres.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, there's a few of them that I done just been riding in the car and hear somebody say, I'd be like, boy, if I was a rapper, boy, I would have bars for your ass. So that's why it's like, I know good shit when I hear it. My whole thing is, man, I can really tell you if you good or not. I'm just a producer, DJ, motherfucker. I used to rap, so I could tell you what's hot.
I'm glad you said that, because that leads directly into this next question. Who got one of your beats and fumbled it, and you listened and said, this ain't it, fam?
Bruh.
Come on, bro. He can't do that.
Okay. Has it happened? And has it happened with people we know?
You know what? It was. You may not know him. Yeah, it wasn't nobody famous. I can't think of nobody famous.
So after this, say it's not. Nah, I'm messing with you. I'm messing around.
Yeah, it wasn't nobody famous, but it has happened. And I was just like, hey man, no, that ain't. Y'all gotta come better than that, brother.
You hit him with the Charlemagne. That ain't it.
That ain't it.
Hey man, that ain't it, dude.
Yo, he rapped his heart out. And Charlemagne looked at that dude and said, that ain't it. Like
you talking about what's his name?
Safari.
The effort was there.
Oh man.
The passion and the effort was there. And then Charlemagne just looked and said, that ain't it. I'd have been so mad. We'd have had to box. If I broke out in full sweat.
Right.
And you gonna look at me with a straight face and go, that ain't it. And you felt safe enough to say that to me after I just poured my heart out?
As an artist, and then comics, that's like what we hear all the time. Like, yo, that ain't funny.
That ain't funny.
Just hear that in your soul.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I'm surprised he didn't dive over the table.
The pause bars, I was like, man, the first pause bar I heard, no, don't take it the wrong way, came from a New York rapper.
I would bet.
His name was, I don't know if y'all remember, he was on Tough City Records, Funk Master Wizard Wiz.
Okay.
He had a song called Bellevue Patient. I guess Bellevue was like a mental facility.
Mental
Yeah,
hospital
yeah.
in New York.
Yeah, he was rapping about being a Bellevue patient. He was talking about how he beat this dude up and goddamn ran up in him, you know?
Oh my God, son.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. We talking about Tough City Records, the same label. Who was on Tough City Records? It was a few people.
Oh,
I think Tough City was distributed by Columbia. Yeah. Funk Master Wizard Wiz. He
That's
was a wild ass dude. He used to dress like Melly Mel with all the spikes and shit.
Yeah.
He didn't last too long.
no,
Not with those bars.
Look,
Yeah,
man. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of
Get
here.
him out of here.
Okay,
Get him out of here.
Trash bar. So I know you're not going. I gotta ask anyway, but I know you're probably not going to answer. Plead the fifth. What was your favorite Trash Bars post?
Damn, it was I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's been a few of them to where I'm trying to figure out which was the favorite. It was that one Busta Rhymes joint. That's what made everybody mad. Because, you know, and everyone, man, this Busta, man. Be like, yeah, I respect Busta too, but that shit wasn't it. It was something else.
I love Busta Rhymes.
It was some, and the thing about it, you wasn't biased either, because you played, you know, it was North shit, it was some down South shit. I'm trying to think, it was something from down here that you played where I was just like, okay, yeah, he dead ass right about that one. I can't remember what it was though.
Was it Silk?
Huh?
Was it Silk?
Yes. Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
He said, hell yeah.
Yes. And see, and I used to, man, and it's wild because that No Limit shit was just so strong back then to where a lot of people made it, you know, they got a pass because, like I say, because you're part of the squad. So,
yeah,
you know, if you got a plethora of people, you know, in this whole conglomerate, it's like, hell yeah, some shit will slip through. But when you go back and listen to them, you be like, all right, Silk. Yo,
He said, all right, Silk.
You couldn't stay on beat. And even when you did your ad libs, you couldn't lock in on those because you didn't lay the first track right. So how could you really do ad libs and lock in if the first track is not even on beat? So where you hear fighting. What is he doing? You know, shout out to Silk the Shocker, but I know he heard that shit from everybody back then.
He definitely did.
But the boys made their money, you know. They got their money.
Mr. Servon's not too happy with me right now.
For real? Oh, you got on him?
Yeah, he was mad about one of the Silk posts. He said something about that. He's also mad at Jazzy Faye for laughing at one of the Silk posts. So yeah, man. Mr. Servon went in the comments starting to check people. So that was kind of funny.
But you know what though? When a motherfucker get mad, they let you know how true it is.
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta add him to the list of the people you can't run into in Wawa.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, if you get all upset like that means you know that shit whack too, dude. Come on, man. Get out of here. So, yeah, man. But nah, that's we need that, and that's gonna keep motherfuckers up on their toes. But then at the same time, you got some artists out there who really don't care either.
Nah.
If they getting shit 20 and 30 a night, bro, they be like, man, I hear you, but I hear you, OG, but
I hear you,
boy. You know, twisting their dread shit, man. We don't do that shit like that down here, goddamn. You know.
Yeah, nah, they about their money. That's it.
Like, yeah. But that's what's going on too, man. And that's really what I'm gonna do as far as me putting my projects out. I want to, you know, hone in on some of the lyrical guys down here who really haven't got that fair shot, and really put my production behind them, man, and you know, and put them on some of these EPs, because it's gonna be like basically like EPs that I'm gonna put out every quarter.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow, every quarter. Wow.
That's
every
fire.
Quarter.
That's fire.
Every quarter. Like really could do two of them per quarter, actually. But I do it every quarter just to keep everything organized.
Man, that's fire.
Yeah, it's a few cats down here, man. Like I know I could get a dope ass album out of Sci-Hi the First.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I know I could get a dope album out of what's my nigga name? That's a few of them, bro. God damn it, man. Oh my God. Man, I can
Summer,
shoot myself with a
JID.
BB gun right now. I can't think of this dude's name.
Definitely looking forward to a Sci-Hi and
Yeah.
Toomp
Yeah,
collab.
only
Yeah.
thing with Sci-Hi, man, he's one of them dudes as talented as he is. He moves in a way to where you'll think he was a big superstar because he's not hard to catch up with. I mean, he's not easy to catch up with.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
You know, Nick Grant. I definitely want to kidnap. I want to kidnap Nick Grant too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nick Grant got bars. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them, man. A few cats around here, like I say, who's floating, who got some cool shit. And I got about 12 songs with my man on the West Coast, Glasses Malone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I got some hard shit with him, man. But last interview he didn't mention it. When they asked him what's coming out, I'm like, all right, now if you don't mention what me and you doing, shit, boy, these beats gonna be back on the market.
So do you make your beats with a person in mind? And then also, as a part B to that, what in your mind is the difference between a producer and a beat maker?
Well, when I create, well, I was honestly, man, just cut it short and it really is like a beat maker is the guy who do the drums, you know? And because I definitely got to give cats production, you know, credit, even if they don't press keys. But the fact you might see a motherfucker who might be on Fruity Loops, just using the mouse only.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he know where to move those notes,
Mm-hmm.
he press play, and that shit come out sounding like magic.
Yeah.
Even though he don't play keys, still got to give him his credit because he's blessed with these right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the gift as well. So I don't take any credit from cats, you know. But I would say, but that's why sometimes too, when you look at older album covers, it'll say produced by Quincy Jones, but music by Brother Johnson.
Right.
Yeah.
Music by Ron Temperton.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's when they would break it down, like, you know, so the beat, some of the guys who they may consider beat makers because they didn't really write the song, they might have just delivered the music. It'll be safe to give them a music by this person.
Mm-hmm.
And produced by, because yeah, another person can get somebody's music and actually produce it. Be like, hey man, I'm the one who decided to put this breakdown on your track and bring this song and make your beat, your music into a song.
Yeah.
You're still gonna get your credit, but it's gonna be produced by me, music by you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how I wish Dr. Dre would have done his crew, because you got a lot of people who didn't get their music by credit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dre, you stepped in, you might have put your mix on it, or you might have put your touch, but there's some dudes who did 90% of that track.
Right. So do you respect it when it's more like produced by Puff Daddy and the Hitmen? Like that?
That works. When you say produced by. But then I ain't gonna lie, sometimes, man, you can shit, I still sometimes if I'm a mother who just brought the music, shit, I still love to bring the music by credit back to the game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because it's you know, you got Hitmaker. What's my man? Young Bird. He's not a guy who sit back and make no tracks, but he could produce a track.
Mm-hmm.
He could get a track fresh off YouTube and maybe get a live guitar player on something and put a melody to that. Yeah, that song is produced by him now.
Okay.
Music by whoever this YouTube guy is. Because he wasn't there when this magic was happening. Yeah. Music by this YouTube guy, but produced by Young Bird. And that's why Puffy could get, you know, certain credit that he get, because you could say he's one of, and that's what we're missing too, dog. And that's why shout out to my nigga Dash, Aaron Sherrod of that Geffen Interscope, is that you got a few A&Rs who know music still. That's what's kind of missing from the game too. You know, of course, you know, I know you just can't bring everything back, but who could fill those seats? You know, like a L.A. Reid when he was an exec. You know what I mean? He knew how to pick and choose. He knew what a superstar was when they walked into the room. You know, nobody's perfect. Like he might have missed out on a few artists who might have got by, but the fact that him or being that CEO of that company, he was able to really shit, shit, fuck it. I'm gonna say gatekeep,
Mm-hmm.
And people try to make gatekeeping sound like a bad thing, but man, that shit really kept this shit really. It kept it like it kept it clean and classy, and
Yeah.
it kept it where it was, because now when you hear certain rap, you'll be like, all right, man, what do y'all hearing that? Oh man, you acting like, it ain't no different than what your parents. Nah, my parents used to like rap.
Mm-hmm.
My parents like Big Daddy Kane.
Word.
My folks like Houdini. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When the message came out, Melly Mel, which I think was the first lyrical rap record, period.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, to where with a message.
Yep.
Man, when that song came out, man, my dad, goddamn, he walked in the house singing that shit. I was like, oh, okay. Because, at
that's
first,
crazy.
he was like, man, all that old hippity hop, Rappers Delight, that shit has now getting repetitive to where the butter shakes like wood. It's sticky food steaming. My mind started dreaming of the moment it's time to leave. It's like after a while, that shit kind of aged a little bad.
I put that on trash bars too.
I didn't know that.
Which I did not think was fair.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was proto rap.
It's like dribbling with your head down. Like you had to get there before.
But we discussed this. We had a show previously called Boombox Life, and we had these discussions before, like the evolution of hip hop, the progression, the lyricism, and at one point it was basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. And then it went from that to I was a fiend before I became a teen. I melted microphones instead of cones of ice cream.
Yeah, I like what Curtis Blow. Now Curtis Blow brought some smooth shit.
Right.
Yeah, Christmas rapping. He had a concept to it.
Yeah.
Give me all that jive about. Yeah.
But it evolved though. It
evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And like I say, boy, when Melly Mel came with the message, and you got to think the message was was his verse at the end of Super Rapping. You remember the song Super Rapping? Grandma's Flat. Shit, it's like a 10-minute record?
It is.
Yeah, child is born with no state of mind.
He was
blind to the ways of mankind. And he was using and abusing. He said that same, but he used that same last shit. Listen, and when my dad walked in the house singing that shit, that's when I knew this hip hop shit was gonna be around for a long time. Cause we talking about somebody who come from this R&B and soul shit to where, like I say, and I guess for that Rappers Delight, man, that shit was in regular rotation. You hear that shit going to school, coming out of school, and after a while, you just get tired of hearing it. But boy, you never got tired of hearing the message, bro.
Listen, man, Nintendo was fire when it came out. We got PS5s now.
But the other day,
take it further than back on some old school. Y'all remember that Atari 5200, the first one?
Yes, sir.
ColecoVision.
Yeah, but that Atari, man, if you were to see the first version of Pac-Man that they tried to come with, the motherfucker didn't even turn. He was eating chips going up this way. Like he didn't turn like this. It was like real blocky. It was still blocky looking, man. The graphics was shitty. Like steamy shit.
Bro.
Now, before we go, I would like to ask one other question. You and T.I., y'all have it's an old school producer rapper vibe. Outside of you,
Hey everyone, this is producer Neil. Would just let you know that we lost that last little bit, that last question that Malik had there. I apologize. Not really sure what happened there, but I will get it fixed and we'll make sure. But luckily, I think our guest DJ Toomp would be coming back, so don't worry. We'll pick up where we left off. If you guys like this episode, you want to hear more, make sure to go over to the Broprint Podcast and on YouTube and just subscribe there, all right? And subscribe and follow them, and of course, Trash Bars and Super Bars with Brian Isley and everything the guys got going on. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.